Okay, welcome back to step 2 of the password program, doing some string processing. Okay, so in this step, step 2, we've verified that the user matched their first and second password, and now our job is to make sure that the password passes all the rules for a valid password. So here is the code to verify that the passwords match. So after that, I want to do something to see if everything's valid, right? The thing is, so here I want to check if valid password. And I really only need to check one of these two because at this point in the code, I've verified that 1 and 2 are the same. So I can check if password 1 is valid here. So if it's valid, I want to say, great, your password's changed, you did it. If it's not, I want to repeat all of this over again. So in order to repeat all of this over again, I'm going to make this validity piece be what controls this looping process that might have to happen more. So in other words, I'm going to put all of this inside of a, it could be another do while, couldn't it? Could be. I don't know, I feel like I should mix it up. While password 1, oh no wait, I'm going to make an isValid method. I'm going to make it right below this main method, and I'm going to pass it password 1, and it's going to send back true if it's valid. So as long as it's not valid, I want to do all this stuff. So because it's not a do while, it's going to check this to see if this is a valid password. And really, this shouldn't be a valid password. So the first time, it's going to check this and be like, oh, that's not valid. So it'll go through and ask the user until it gets to their equal. Then it will hit the end of the loop and it will go up and ask this question again. And at that point, if it's valid, it'll bump out of the loop. So once I bump out of this loop, your password is changed. So password is valid, so it's changed. So now this method is really going to handle all the stuff for step 2 for me, which is kind of nice. It keeps my main small. We don't like our methods to go more than a page. So all right, so I need this isValid method. It's going to return a Boolean. It's going to get a string, so let me make that method header. It's a static method. I said it returns a Boolean, and it receives a string, and I can name that string whatever I want in this method. So this one is going to check if length is 8, and really more specifically returns true if all these things. Length is 8. Let's see what the other specs are. One number, one uppercase, one lowercase. Has one number, has one uppercase letter, has one lowercase letter. Okay, so I have a lot of checks to make, and this is again where it's going to depend on how you interpret it. One way is to check everything and tell the user the pieces they're missing. At Fairfax County, when we change our passwords, it seems like it doesn't give you any hint at all. So in that case, the minute you find something that's invalid, if you check and it's not a length of 8, you could argue just go ahead and return false. It's not a valid password. So all of these things have to be true in order for this to return true. So now how I'm going to do this, all this stuff, is each one of these is going to be a method call as well. And so one of them was provided in the specs, and we'll write the other ones as well. But it just makes it, again, a little bit easier to manage. We encapsulate the code a little bit. So here, I could make it an if, Will we like that? If, let's see, what's it called again? Has at least 8 characters. If has 8 str, so I want to check if this thing has 8, and let's see what the name of the method here was. At least one number. And this was a sample. Now, for whatever reason, I don't like that name. So I'm going to call it has one number. And I can put this down here. And can't remember if the and goes down. Has one uppercase and has one lowercase. If all those things are true, I will return true. Else, I will return false. Okay, so now we have to write all of these methods, right? So public static, and all of these are going to be Boolean, and that's why I've written them kind of with this has word here. So has 8 is true if it has 8, it's false if it doesn't. So these are going to be Boolean, has 8, and they're going to return it, they're going to receive a string, this one. And again, I can call it the same thing. I don't have to. I could call it T if I wanted. So a lot of times you'll see the same name being used, but remember here's str. This is a whole new one that's being made with the same value. So, all right, and how will I know if it has 8? So if str.length, length tells me how many characters it has, is greater than or equal to 8. There you go. Return true, else return false. And we have seen in the coding bats where sometimes I can keep this else off. That's the same, because if I've done this, I leave. If I don't, I'll come do this. You can also just say return. Return the value of this statement. So I will need a semicolon there. So it will ask if this is greater than or equal to 8. If it's true, it'll return true. If it's false, it will return false. So that's this one done. Has 8. Now the has one number was given here. Really, you know I want you to have all these comments in there, but because these videos, I don't want them to be too long, it kind of ignore the comments. So I call it has one number. So if has one number, and so this is an interesting one. I'm going to have to retype these quotes. Sometimes when I copy, the quotes don't get copied. So this solution creates a string with all the numbers in it, and it uses that. And so what it's going to do is it's going to go through the password. So remember, this is the password, this str. And it's going to go through and get one letter at a time from that password. And then what it's going to ask is if this thing has that letter in it, or character, right? So really it's going to get one character. I shouldn't have called it letter. One character out of the whole password at a time. And if that is in here somewhere, I can go ahead and leave this method and return true, because I have found a number, I only need one. If I go through the whole loop and I never find a number, I will return false. So that's good for has one number. You can do the same thing for has one uppercase, so I'm actually going to do that. It seems a little laborious, but without using some of the special string methods that are outside of the subset, which I want to avoid doing. I want to be using substring and index of. Remember, index of sends back the index of that one character out of here. And if I have an index that's 0 or higher, it means it was found in here. All right, so on this one, I want has one uppercase, and I need to get all the uppercase, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. Oh, what is it? All right, so I could call these something else. It would be good, wouldn't it? So let's call them uppercase letters, which means I have to change it here too. All right, so still going to go through the string that was passed. Still going to get one character at a time. Again, I said letter. That's not. Get one individual character from it. And then here, check to see if that one character is in this string by using index of. And if it is, then return true, because I have one and I only need one. All right, I'm going to, normally I would test, but for sake of time, I'm going to copy and paste all these, and if I made a mistake, I'll probably delete this video and remake it, so you'll never know. Has one lowercase. I think these should be called lowercase letters. Control C, Control V, lowercase letters. And now I have to type all the lowercase letters. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. Now, if I missed one or mistyped, that's going to ruin my algorithm. So there are actually some methods out there. You can go look if you want in the string class. Actually, it's in the character class, so you have to get used to that. Okay, let's see, my first error. It is pointing, it has one number, and it says cannot be referenced from a static context. That sounds so scary, and all it means is that I am calling a method without an object, which means that method has to have the word static on it. So remember, my choices are I make an object template or I make static methods. And in these cases, I'm making static methods. I just forgot. Okay. I don't have any errors, any other errors. So we've got our blue, they match. Is it valid? I'm lost now. I didn't expect that. Because I feel like password 1 isn't valid. Oh! Yeah. So similarly, I'm not getting any error message, right? Because I'm not printing one. So it's hard to tell. It's not telling me the passwords didn't match, but it went up here and it checked if they were valid, and it went ahead and said enter password again. So what I want to do, I want to fix that. I want to know when it's invalid. So it's not going to be a very helpful message, but at least it will be a message. So if, and I'm going to use this same kind of thing, if password 1 is not valid, then I want to print out password is invalid. Now, of course, we could set the message to be more descriptive, and I could give them a prompt for what I want in the password, but this was really about string manipulation, not about getting it right. Password is invalid. Okay, so now I need one that's 8 letters, has a capital A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, 8. I think I got everything in there, right? A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, 8. Password is changed, so that got valid. So normally I would continue running tests where I would do the one I just did, but without the 8, right? Because it has to have a number, so I want to know if it's checking everything, and indeed it found that one was invalid. So I would normally test quite more extensively. It's just I've written this program enough that I'm pretty confident that most of it's right. There might be some little errors, but so I think that is it. Great, we got it done. Woohoo! All right, see you later. Happy coding.